Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Bree from With Live Bree, and today I am going to be doing a project share for InLoveArts. So for this design team project, I did have a couple of dies, actually quite a bit of dies to work with, so I'm going to try my best to get this done. I did record it already previously, like a week ago, and it was just way too long, and I was like, I'm going to try to shorten it up. Hopefully I can get through them quicker because I just was not trying to edit that video. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and pull all the pieces out. I have them in a container because I am working with the Marigold collection by Maggie Holmes crepe paper, and this is one of the sheets. I'm just showing you guys. This collection I've had since it first came out, and now I'm just starting to work with it. I am going to be doing some swaps with this collection, so I thought I'd go ahead and just get some things made, and why not do it for a design team project. So the first die that I'm going to show you is this one right here. This die is a bag die. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what I made with this. For that die, I went ahead and I made this box right here. It is already closed up, but there's nothing in here just yet. But all I did was use some seam binding, and I just tied it in a knot. And then I just did some layering with the ephemera and chipboard pieces, and then I just scattered on just some like leftover die cuts from the papers that I used. I even hand cut this label. I stitched it onto this ephemera piece, and then I even have some of these butterflies that I used in my Flourish collection, which I have videos on, and I even die cut some for here, and I put them on just to finish the cluster. And as you guys can see, I did some pink stitching. So that is how that one looks, and it is kind of dimensional. I wouldn't say it's really dimensional because I can go crazy when it comes to dimension, but this is like not even that bad. So that is the bag. So I made that with this die. And then next die is this one right here. This die is like a ribbon tail die, and you get 3 different sizes. You get these larger, like thicker swirls, and then you got the medium size and the smaller size. I used the smaller ones for my project. So what I made was, I used another die for this box, but I did make this bow embellishment, and what I did was I created the bow. I didn't die cut the tails for the bow because I wanted to use these little like the little swirly tails for those. So that's what I did there, and that's how that turned out. I don't know if you guys can see. Looks super cute. That's how it turned out. I used green and yellow pattern paper for those, and it just decorates the little box. And what I did with this one, it is a long piece. I was able to cut one in half to make them shorter, and then these two I just cut off one little like section to make it this size. So you can definitely adjust the sizing with the smaller one. I feel like with the larger ones you kind of can't because there's not much to cut off, but yeah, definitely a really cute die. Glad that I picked that one up. So the next die is this one right here, which is a bag topper die. You get 3 different sizes in this set, so you get all 3 of them for one price, which to me is a great deal because they have great deals. I will have a coupon link down below for 20% off too if you guys are interested. And so yeah, let me show you guys what this die looks like. It basically has like the scallop and some hearts on the scallops. And look how tiny this one is. Once you see what I made with those, you'll see how small it is. So I made 2 of each one. I made a bunch of embellishments because, again, I want to have some for my stash, so that way when I do send out my mail, I have some already done. So I made a couple. These are the larger sizes. What I did was I took some ribbon or like trim, and I put it right behind, this little banner ephemera piece that you can get in the ephemera pack, and I just backed it and stitched it on to the ephemera piece with some pink thread. I did that for both of these here. And then what I did was I used some of the stickers from the sticker sheet, and I just added some of the floral pieces. And then I ended it with some Nuvo drops and so I used some of the heart die cuts right here that I used on a different project from this collection. And so I used them on the ends of both of these. And what I did too was I used double-sided paper so that the inside of the bag topper is also has a pattern. So I used some of the double-sided papers. So I used that for the larger size. For the medium-sized ones, what I did was I made some like little bows, and I used the Pink and Main bow die. And all I did was I made it with the paper, the same exact paper that I made these bag toppers with. So this backing right here is the bow. Same with this one. And I used some of the floral, like little floral stickers from Dollar Tree, the puffy ones, and I just stuck them right behind the bow, and then I used some gold thread to wrap around the bow to give it more texture. And I did pop up the bows onto some foam adhesive. Oh no, I didn't. I just glued it straight down. But yeah, that's how that looks. And then for all of the bag toppers, I did stitch around the rectangular area just on the front, just for some added texture and for some pop of color. So I used the bright pink one. And I don't know if you guys can see on this one too. Do the stitching on that too. And then the smaller ones, all I did was I took some of that Hobby Lobby heart trim that I love so much. And I went ahead and I cut one little heart from each, or from the strand. And I just literally stitched it on there with pink thread, and that was it. This one I didn't do any stitching around it just because this I was already going to stitch the heart anyway, so I didn't want too much stitching. What I did though, in the corners of the top left and top right, I used Nuvo drops in white and pink. So that's what I did for these mini ones, and look how tiny they are. They're so small. If you want to package up something, you definitely can. Yeah, so like let's just say you have like this little mini stamp set and you're gonna gift it. Like, even this is too small. It's so tiny. Oh my god, I don't even know what I'm gonna gift, like, I mean, use that for, but I just love mini things. But this size is perfect if you want to use it on here. Super cute. So those are the mini ones. All right, and that was it for this die. So the next die is this heart die, and this is a stitched lace heart die, and you get all of these in one purchase, so, or in one packet, or what am I saying, in one set. So it's a whole set, and you get a total of 7 dies. And these dies are perfect for embellishment making. I love the size, the shape, and like the style. I love that it has the stitching and the lace. So for this die, I did make 2 different projects. So first thing, I wanted to try to make different things with the different sizes so you guys can see. However, I was only able to use 2 different sizes because I started getting a little overwhelmed by thinking about what I can do with everything. And I had ideas, but I just wasn't trying to take up that much time because I needed to get this video out. So I did make these little heart embellishments, and these were actually one of the first things that I made. I've actually had these made for actually almost a month already because I just haven't been able to work with the dies just yet, but I finally was able to finish all my designs. So yeah, I made these, and I'll just go over what I did with it real quick. I used 3 different cardstock pieces, or actually 2 different cardstock pieces, and then I used some vellum wood grain paper right here to put in the center. So I used 2 different cardstocks, vellum for the center, and then what I did was I used the pattern paper for the top layer. Then what I did was I backed it with 110-pound cardstock in this like off-white color, and I did that to hide the stitching because I did stitch the hearts down onto the pattern paper. So I did that to hide the backing. And then also when you die cut a piece of paper, the back of the paper looks weird, like the stitching looks all off. So I went ahead and I covered up all of that with this extra die cut. So yeah, you can use this and back it with each other and they match up perfectly. so they're mirrored perfectly. And that's how they look. Love this one. This one is so cute. I love the colors. I like how muted it is, and the terracotta background, super cute. So those are the little heart embellishments I made. And for the centers, so actually I did use a punch. I used a Martha Stewart heart punch. However, so I used this die right here for that. If you don't have a layering heart die or punch or anything like that, you can easily, if you just see the stitching here, cut along the stitching, and that'll give you a good center, or like centerpiece. So you don't have to have like a matching punch, or you can use the smaller one, but I really wanted a heart that didn't have the little scallop lace edge, so that's why I used the punch. But yeah, so I did use that for the center. So I have another project using these hearts, and what I did was, if you guys remember from my Flourish collection, I did a tutorial and a share on some stitched heart like banner strips, and that's what I did with this as well. So I made 4 different ones here, and I'll show you guys the ones I made for the Flourish because I do have some left. So these are the ones that I made for the Flourish collection, and as you guys can see, I used this large heart, or like a medium heart die that has little punched out circles around them. And these ones are a little bit larger than the ones that I made with this collection, but it still works. So let me just show you guys what I did. So for these ones, because on my Flourish ones, I did a mixture of all pattern papers and all cardstock. What I did with these ones is I did 1 pattern paper and 3 different cardstock colors that match that pattern paper. So that's what I did with this one. Or I did it for all 4 of them. And I just did some clustering on the side, and then I did add some chipboard. This was my first time ever since I've had a sewing machine. I've been sewing on my projects for a while, because even in my scrapbooks I did sewing, which I've showed in my YouTube channel like 3-4 years ago, but I've never stitched through chipboard, and that's because I always get nervous that my needle's gonna break or something. But it did pretty good. Again, this is my new sewing machine, so I felt a little bit more like secure, I guess, because it's a better machine. But yeah, so it's not as dimensional. My other one I feel like was a little bit more dimensional, but I really love how this one turned out. And this was my first time trying to do different stitches. With my other machine, it was easy to switch the stitch, and this one, it just took me a little bit of time. With my sewing machine, I can actually change the settings on how long and how wide I want my stitch to be. So I have to practice and guess on which one would work, and luckily this was like perfect. But yeah, so I did do that. This is one of my favorite ones. I love all the pinks, and then I even used this clear sticker. I put it down before I sewed it, but if you guys can see, it's like this clear vine sticker, and that is from the Maggie Holmes sticker book from Tuesday morning. And I did clustering with the butterflies, and then I just took some of the stickers from the sticker sheet and I just put them on here, and I use foam, as you guys can see here. And I did use a chipboard piece back here, and then I did clustering with the butterfly. Oop, I need to re-adhere that with the hot glue gun. Yeah, so I made that, and then I did some clustering with some sequins, and I even did this little stitch right here, which is new to me. I don't know if you guys can see that X like stitch, cross stitching, I'm assuming. But yeah, so that one's that. I have to adhere that butterfly down before I forget. My hot glue gun's not on though. Okay. And then this one here is another favorite. It's pink and yellow, one of my 2 favorite colors to put together. I did another stitch where I did a zigzag stitch and a straight stitch. And if you guys can see from this one, the 2 stitches are different. So this top one right here is shorter. This one is longer. So yeah, I was testing out the stitches, and I love how they both turned out. So for all the butterflies, I added some of the Wink of Stella, or no, not Wink of Stella. Oh yeah, I used my Wink of Stella for this one, sorry. I have two different ones. I have my Spectrum Noir and Wink of Stella, but I used the Wink of Stella on the butterflies to add some glitter. And then I used even this gold flat heart sticker. I did it after I stitched, so the stitching is actually underneath. I used some of the label stickers from the sticker book and some chipboard, some of the little cut aparts from the 12 by 12 paper that I cut out. And I've even used a clear sticker on the back, like this vine sticker. And that all came from the Maggie Holmes sticker book. And then, yeah, just did some of the butterflies, and this one I used the swan paper. Alright, and the last one I used greens, which I usually never work with. I don't ever work with green, but this collection had quite a bit of it in here, so I did, luckily, in my scraps have some of this dark green cardstock from Christmas, and it went perfectly with this embellishment. So I went ahead and I used this floral pattern, and I put pinks and greens together. And as you guys can see with these heart embellishments that I made, compared to the last ones, I had them straight. These ones I had the hearts go at a different angle. So as you guys can see, these two go to the left, and like some of them are to the right. They're all just different. This one's straight. So yeah, I did that with all the embellishments, just so that way it kind of gives it like that whimsical look. And then I did some more clustering here, so some foam. I did a chipboard piece in the back, another sticker from the sticker sheet from our sticker book, and then this is like a little cut apart from the 12 by 12 paper, and I just used my pinking shears to cut the edges. And just some regular straight stitching and some butterfly clusters and that flat heart sticker. So there's that. And then those are the 4 strip embellishments that I made with this heart die right here. So the next die, like I said, I had a lot of dies. I have another item to show you guys. So let me just zoom in just a little bit more so you guys can see. The next die is going to be this alpha die. Don't mind the top one, that's a Tim Holtz die. But with my smaller alphas, I combine them together because it just takes up a lot of space, and with one whole sheet of this magnet paper, it just saves me so money and time and space. And so yeah, this alpha right here is the one that I picked up. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's super cute. I love this alpha. I did have to, you know, of course, die cut each letter separately, but honestly, it didn't take too long. It was pretty easy. So let me show you guys what I made with this die. So I've shared these on my Instagram and my YouTube channel as well. It's just that I never really decorated them. These are those pleated little strips that we were all doing, and I made larger strips, and if I remember, I will have those videos linked down below. But these ones are shorter and they're smaller, and I actually embellished them. So for this one here, I made these little pleated strips, just like this. And what I did, so with my other ones, I stitched the center, down, and it became like a little flat embellishment. What I did with this one was I kept it, like, I didn't stitch on it, I kept it puffy. So that way when I use it on a project, if I want to like glue it down, it's dimensional. So I don't know if you guys can see, it like stays popped up. So I didn't glue anything down. All I did was I glued the embellishments on top onto the highest little like level. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, as you guys can see, I glued it onto the top of these two because they're the highest ones, and that's just so that way they stick together, and so when I put the embellishment down, it doesn't get flat, it kind of stays puffy. And so let me just quickly show you guys. Some of them I put some right behind the embellishment, and that's just to give it some layers. So this is like an vellum floral acetate, or not acetate, vellum piece, and I put that on that one. And as you guys can see, I use different pinks of cardstock for the lettering. So this one says golden and it has the goose, and again, it's just really dimensional. And then what I did for every single one, I used this wood grain vellum to go in the back, and I just cut a bunch of strips. I made them into little banners and I glued them on. I used that one, and I also used this black scribble heart one. And these are both from Hobby Lobby, the vellums. So those are the two, and then I made a bunch more, so let me quickly show you guys. As you guys can see, I also used a chipboard piece. So this is a chipboard piece, and I just took the backing off. I actually took the backing off of a lot of my chipboards, and I just threw them in a little container for me, so that way it's easy for me to dig through. And this one says inspire, and then this one I also have a ephemera piece in the back. I just used the vine. Sorry about that, guys. My camera just kind of like shut off on me. Yeah, so anyway, this is the other one that I was showing you guys, and I just used the hot pink paper, and then I put some of the ephemera in the back, just the vine, and that was that. And I used the really cute floral pattern paper. This is the one that I used here. And I literally, for these ones, I just went through my scraps, whatever I had, and I put them, I used those. So yeah, so that was that for this alpha die. This next one is gonna be, I'm gonna try to go through this one real quick, but this one here is a banner die. I made two different projects with this one. I used this larger one, and then I used the smallest one. The cool thing about this one is you get the scalloped stitched banner plus the layering piece. So I don't know if you guys can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5 banners, and you get 10 pieces because each one gets their layering piece, which I think is awesome, especially for the price. So I used that die, and let me show you guys what I made with this one. So first I'm going to show you guys this little box that I made. I've seen a lot of people making these banners with boxes in them. So what I did was I created this banner right here. And I just used some yarn for the little hanging piece. And then on the sides I used some rhinestones to cap up the straw, just so that you don't see the opening of the straw. So I used some large rhinestones. And then for the little like loop pieces for all of my embellishments, I did use a die to die cut the strap part, or the loop part. That sounds kind of weird. But yeah, so I use it for the loop part, and the reason why is because it has that stitching, because I didn't want to stitch them since this is already stitched. So I want it to be cohesive. So since I wasn't going to stitch the banner, I wanted this to just be like faux stitched. So that's what I did. I used the die for those. And then all I did was some simple layering. I literally just put some ephemera pieces because some of the ephemera is just really large. So I used it on the box, and I stitched it with some pink thread. And I layered them on top of each other with some foam adhesive. This one, I already put the photo corners down before I could stitch around the piece. So I had to do, like, improvise, and what I did was I just stitched in between the photo corners. Then I used some of this, like, yellow, like, gold pom-pom trim, and I just glued it down to the bottom of this deer ephemera piece. I used a what are these, puffy sticker for the little bow part, and then I added a little pink diamond dot to add just some texture and dimension to the little ephemera piece as a little blush for the deer. So that's what I did with that. And sorry if the lighting is changing. It is a rainy day today, but it's like sunny too. but that's California for you guys. So yeah, and then here's the box that I made. Super easy. Honestly, you can make boxes for anything, but I did make this box an inch high, and so you can put some goodies in here. And then what I did to make it easy to open, I just added these little circle cut pieces right here, and that way it's easy to take the box out. You could just put your fingers there and take it out. So that was that. And then I also made, so I made 2 projects with this as well. I made some little banner embellishments. So I made some mini ones like this, and I'm super excited with how these ones turned out. So here is one of them. This is just so cute. So I used some yarn again for the top, or like the hanging piece, and then I used some of these half-back pearls on the ends to cap the straw. And I was able to use the same pink straw as this large one right here, so they're cohesive. And I thought these were just so cute. So I used some of the chipboard, some of the ephemera. These I just cut out of the pattern paper, and I just used some pinking shears to cut out the edges to make it look like a postage stamp. I used some of the stickers from the sticker sheet. I clustered some sequins. I used pom-pom trim, and for each one I made them, try to keep them similar so it's easy for me to put together and it's not so stressful to embellish. But I did pom-pom trim underneath all of the little label pieces that I cut out. So I hand cut these from the pattern paper. I put some pom-pom trim, and that's how I started off. And then I just started to cluster everything. And one of my chipboards, they came like double cut, so it's like coming apart. But yeah, so I got that. And this one is pretty dimensional. And then I realized that I wanted to put these into like this packaging. I was gonna actually put mini ones in here. I thought it'd be cute to open a big one and see some mini ones. And I realized that I made them super dimensional, so I made a bunch of these. So I'm just gonna have a lot for my stash and just gift a couple, which is fine because then at least I have some to give to other people. So let me just show you guys my other ones. So here is the chipboard. This is the Special Life of Bees, and I used some of the ephemera, the floral ephemera, and I just layered it. As you guys can see, there's like a pop of pink. I had that postage stamp. Again, I started off with this little label piece and a postage stamp. I sewed those two together, and that was my base for my base, if that makes any sense. So like I started off with the banner, obviously, and then my base was basically just, honestly you guys, I think it's gonna be one of those videos, but let me just share it with you guys real fast before my camera does it again. But yeah, basically, yeah, I just stitched together those two pieces to start off with, and then I just started layering all the ephemera and like chipboard pieces and stuff that I thought would work. And as you guys can see, I used the die for the little loop parts so that they would have the faux stitching. And what I did was with the layering piece, as you guys can see, I put it onto some foam. As you can see, the first layer of foam, just so that way it pops off and it has that shadow effect. It just adds dimension. I love dimension. So I made that, and then this is my favorite one. And again, same concept with the half-back pearl. I have the yarn, I have this stitched, or the faux stitched loop, and the pink straw. And then again, I popped up this first layer, and then I just did some with the chipboard, the postage stamp. So you guys can see here, I stitched the postage stamp onto the label piece, and that's what I literally started with. And then after that, I just started layering on top, underneath it. I just sometimes need like that base, and I needed something for like that I can keep consistent. And so that's why I chose to do that, just so that way it could start off like that. It just makes, like when you're making clusters of stuff, it just makes it so much easier when you keep things kind of similar. And so, yeah, I just popped up some of the chipboard. This is the ephemera piece, and I'm surprised I didn't put any diamond dots in the centers, which I'm probably going to do. It's my favorite ephemera piece right here. And then, yeah, so that's how that turned out. And what I did, sorry, for the banner piece, this back layer right here, I actually cut it out of 110-pound pink cardstock, and then I turned it around because, again, when you die cut a piece of paper with this, it's doing it. it's stopping. This happened with my last video, but yeah, so when you die cut something out of, you know, like with the faux stitching on it, the backing looks really weird. It, like, the stitching doesn't look cute, and then sometimes you do get imprints from, you know, your mats or your cutting plates if you guys have a lot of marks on there. So I covered that ugly up with another piece of pattern paper, but it's just like 65-pound shimmer paper from Michaels. I also did that because when I did the loops, you could see that I glued the loops on the back here, so you can like actually see it. With this one, you can cover it with the layering piece. So instead of cutting out a layering piece, I just went ahead and cut out a whole nother piece back here, and they mirrored perfectly, and just like the heart die cuts that I made, that I showed you guys earlier. So I went ahead and I did that to the back of these as well. So I thought that was really cute. It just sandwiches everything together and it keeps it clean. So I did that for all of them here. I even made some mini ones. For the mini ones, I couldn't use the straws because the loops were really small. So luckily from Michaels this year, I picked up the pink and mint green like popsicle sticks, or not popsicle sticks, but cake pop sticks. And I was able to use those for the little hanging piece. So I used some yarn, and then I swear I put some rhinestones on the ends here. Maybe they came off, or maybe I didn't. Oh no, I guess I didn't yet. Well, I want to add some rhinestones here on the ends of the cake pop stick, as you can see, because I want to cover that up. So I'll do that. But I also added some diamond dots on the little strip part, as you guys can see, because it was skinny enough so it didn't look weird, and I thought it was really cute with these blush pink little diamond dots. This one I put in the center. I used some of the diamond dots, and literally I kept them all simple for these mini ones. I just popped up the first layer, and I messed up because I got too excited. I glued down the first layer the first time with glue, and so I had to die cut each of the pieces again one more time and layer it with foam. And again, with all three of the ones that I made, I just used an ephemera piece. I used some seam binding underneath it, and I called it a day, and that was it. And I did the same thing. I just backed it with some of that shimmer paper just to hide that backing. So there's that one. I love how this one looks with the butterfly. With the butterfly, I did add some diamond dots, and I just added some of those white ones. And then I put some in the center with brown, and then there's the foam. You guys can see the first layer of pattern paper. And then I did some seam binding on the top with the little diamond dots. Super cute. And then the last one is this bumblebee. And that looks like this. And I did it on that green floral paper. And again with the seam binding behind. So, and then you guys can see I did diamond dots here on the black parts and then the ends of the wings to kind of give it that shine. So those are those three. And then the last two projects, so one more die and then I have one more item. So this is the die right here, and this is like a script die. It says inspire, sun shines bright, hello, and create. And I thought these were so cute. I love the size, I love the font, I love the words that it says. So for this one, I made a 3D project. I finally busted out my mailbox die, which I've had in my stash forever, that you can get on Alina, or not Alina Crafts, but on Ali. And it's this mailbox die right here. You can make this mailbox. So cute. Love how it turned out. But basically I just used some of the ephemera, and then I used a chipboard piece that says "So Happy Together" on a typewriter. And I just used some of the floral ephemera all around here in the corner. I did stitch all of the pieces, as you could see, and I did use some mustard color yellow for the box. I kept the back just plain because it really doesn't matter, but I left it like that. And then I also used a magnetic closure for it. And normally I'm really good about gluing my magnets first before putting my pattern papers, but I must have gotten too excited, so I ended up having to put it where you could see it. And normally I don't like doing that because you could see the magnet there, but it still shuts. So yeah, I used that as the closure. And then for the top, Chris walked in on me working on it, and I asked him if I should put pom-poms on here, and he said yes, that it would look good. So I put pom-poms there, and I think it does look really cute, and I love that it adds to like texture to the project and also dimension, and it matches perfectly with that yellow. And then for the top, I was having a hard time on what to do to decorate it. I tried a bow, I tried a lot of things, and I saw my butterflies just sitting there, and so I just punched out a bunch of them and I layered them up like this, and they just look really cute. I think that they go very well with the little like swirlies on top that are die cut. And so that's how that looks. And in between the butterflies, I did use some diamond dots in the centers. For the larger ones I put 2, and for the smaller ones I put 1. And then here is the Shine Bright. I did use some diamond dots here as well. I die cut it first with chipboard, and then I die cut it with pattern or with cardstock afterward, and I glued them together to make them kind of like a chipboard sticker type of thing. To make them pop up, I did use some hot glue, and then I just like didn't press down on it. I just let it sit on to the thick piece of hot glue, and it just made it dimensional like that. I like to do that with thinner dies like this, because sometimes cutting up a lot of foam dots, those just take way too long. So I just use my hot glue gun like that. But yeah, so this can cut through some really good chipboard. I think I use a thin chipboard, but it still die cut really easily with one round. So yeah. And then I did finish off the flowers with some of this tinsel glitter and gold. And I did put this little star charm last minute because I just thought a hanging piece was needed, but nothing too crazy because I wanted it to open easily. And so I just did a little tiny star charm. But yeah, so there's that. So I made that with that die. And then the last thing that I grabbed were these. And these are some coiling strips. And thank goodness that I recently picked up this Sizzix like flower making kit. I don't even know what made me want to get it. I think it's because it was mint, and like I don't know why. I think I got it for like the flower making tools. Let me just show you real quick. It looks like this. It doesn't come with the case. I just put it in here to organize. But yeah, it comes with all these tools to make the little flowers. And I didn't realize that this is a quilling tool. So I used my quilling tool to make these come alive. But I made some little embellishments that you can use to embellish your embellishments, if that makes any sense. So let me just show you guys really quick. I'm just going to show you on here because they're so tiny. But I made some little hearts and flowers out of the quilling paper. And then I used a die from Lawn Fawn, from one of their floral dies, to make the leaves. But look at these little hearts. Hope you guys can see. I made some little heart embellishments out of the little papers, and then I even made some little flowers. And I thought these would be really cute to embellish your projects with. They also have dimension, as you guys can see. They're like little dimensional pieces. So when you put it onto something, it is 3D. You don't have to worry about adding any foam. I know this is like a bad way to present it, but I just felt like it popped off that mint. And so, yeah, I made some of those little embellishments. And then I did make something else. So let me show you guys real quick. Okay. So I made some bows using the pink and mane bows. However, I didn't cut the tails out. What I did was I made little swirly tails. Look how cute those are. So I used the button in the center for this one, and so yeah, I used double-sided paper for the inside, and that's how that looks. And I used really big chunky like swirls for this one, but I thought it'd be really cute as like a little bag topper or something to have those like little swirls down the bottom. Let me know if you guys would like a tutorial on this, because I definitely can do that for you. Just go ahead and comment down below if you guys would like to see. Super easy, super fun. You can do them in different ways. So here's the other one. And this one I did 3 of them, and I did a mixture of like larger and smaller curls. And then I did 3 different pinks for this one. This one I did 2 different ones. And I just thought this one was so cute. Again, I used the white button, and they just hang, and they just are really cute. What did I do? Oh, the backing is ugly because it, look at it. So you can totally cover that back piece, but honestly, these are gonna get glued down flat. And so I'm just gonna leave it as it is, but I'm pretty sure that like you can cover it up. I might actually cover it up. I just needed to get this video out, and this was the last project I did, so it does look pretty ugly on the back, but honestly, if you just glue it down on something, you won't even see it. And then here's the last one that I made. 3 different ones. Most of these are tiny spirals, but look at how you can use that coiled heart. Super cute, and look, it's like dimensional. When I was coiling the little flowers, I was like, okay, I think I can make these into hearts, and I literally pushed down the center and it made a heart. So that's how that one looks. I used, again, 3 different colors of pink. And the cool thing about these with the strips is they're so long that I was left over, like, because I was cutting off like the pieces because they were too long. I have like leftovers, so you can use this as even like shred to put inside of a box to put your goodies in if you want to. So it's like homemade shred. But yeah, so those are the 3 that I made. Let me just quickly show you guys. I love how they turned out, and I love that, you know, you can use those as well for like little centers for the bows. I just thought it turns out really cute. I love all the layers, and you can see it. Just really cute. So again, if you guys want a video on how to do that, I can. I most likely will, so that way you guys can see how I made everything, because it's super easy. But yeah, and then I don't think I showed you guys the inside of the box, but it has a lot of space, so you can put a lot of embellishments in here, or goodies. So in case you guys are interested, that's an AliExpress die. It's just a mailbox die if you look that up. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing everything. I will have photos on my Instagram of every single like project close up, so if you guys want to see those, I'll have it there. I will have my Instagram link down below, as well as the discount code and all the links to each of these dies, so that way it's easier for you to get to those items. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope you guys enjoyed seeing all the little projects that I made. I can't wait to make more videos. If anything, if it's not crafting videos, it's definitely going to be shares. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!